A desolate urban edge, a wasteland of towering junk, broken fences and flickering neon signs. Here and there, a rusty car or discarded appliance glitters in the moonlight. But the main attraction is the garbage dump. Every evening it is a feeding frenzy. For the 20 or so stray dogs that live nearby, this is the only steady source of food, the scraps, bones and discarded meals that people throw away. Tonight, 2 packs are coming to claim the prize. From different directions, they approach the dump. The first pack is led by Bruno, a massive black Labrador. His ribs show through his dusty coat. His ears are cropped and his tail is docked, the remnants of some cruel joke played by his former owners. The second pack is smaller, but no less determined. They are led by an ancient mutt named Scar. He has one ear torn to a ragged flap and a grizzled grey muzzle that seems to twitch with perpetual discontent. As the dogs get closer, we hear them sniffing, growling, their eyes glowing like hot coals in the darkness. Tension builds until suddenly the dogs explode out of the shadows. They come crashing together in a tangle of limbs and flashing teeth. The surviving strays scatter and run. The fight has begun, and it's every dog for himself. The leaders of each pack step forward, growling and baring their teeth. Their tails are stiff, their bodies crouched low, every muscle tensed and ready to spring. Behind them, the rest of the dogs bark and circle, some keeping to the fringes, others leaping into the center of the melee. For a moment, all is chaos. Furflies, deafening howls split the night, and the dogs roll around in the dirt, locked in a desperate struggle for dominance. There are too many dogs to follow each one. So let's focus on Bruno. The big black lab is strong, but he's not the biggest dog. That honor goes to Scar. Bruno lunges and snaps, trying to get at Scar's throat, but the old dog is too quick, sidesteps, then growls and bares his own teeth. The dogs circle each other, sizing up their opponent. It's a tense standoff, a battle of wills. Finally, Bruno explodes forward. The other dogs join in, and soon Bruno finds himself surrounded. But the black lab is unfazed. He fights like a demon, slamming his massive paws into the pack and sending dogs flying through the air. He bites and snarls, his eyes blazing with the fire of 1,000 suns. For a while, it looks like Bruno will win the day, but just as quickly, the tide begins to turn. The sheer number of dogs against him proves too much. They pull him down, biting and yelping until Bruno is forced to flee. He limps away, head hung low, disappearing into the maze of trash cans. Now that Bruno is gone, Scar turns his attention to the pile of food, but he's too late. Most of the scraps have been devoured by the other dogs. Only a few choice morsels remain. As Scar and his pack dig through the refuse, the remaining dogs begin to trickle back. They limp and shake, trying to get their bearings. Some are missing chunks of fur. Others have blood trickling down their jaws. All of them are hungry, but none are willing to risk another beating to get more food. Except for a couple of scrappy youngsters. They dart out from between the legs of the older dogs, snatching a scrap here, a discarded bone there. One of Scar's pups, a little female with one blue eye and one brown, tries to make a grab, but is chased off by a bigger, meaner dog. Enraged, Scar lets out a furious bark, but even he knows better than to tangle with the other pack, while they are still fresh and uninjured. Instead, he gathers his pups close, nudging them toward the meager remains of the meal. Slowly, the hunger that brought them together dissipates, replaced by weariness and the need for sleep. One by one, the dogs drift off, their growls fading into the darkness. Eventually, only a few stragglers remain. Finally, they, too, melt away into the night, leaving the garbage dump to the victors. The younger dogs look around, uncertain what to do next. The big black dog from earlier, Bruno, limps back to the pile, his tail tucked between his legs. He looks at the other dogs, then at the food, then back at the other dogs. Finally, he backs away slowly, disappearing into the shadows. One by one, the other dogs follow, leaving the garbage dump to Scar and his pack. As the first rays of sunlight touch the horizon, Scar climbs to the top of the trash pile and lets out a long, mournful howl. Below him, his pack feasts, their tails wagging in unison. Holiday. Above him, The moon begins its slow descent, leaving the world to the waking giants, who will soon claim it for their own. It was just another night in the life of the strays. A constant struggle to survive in a world that offers little more than scraps and the cold comfort of camaraderie.